All right. So unit rates and Best Buy. These are common questions. Zach, can you pick one right, please? Common questions that you'll see in this unit for sure. So we're going to look at finding a unit rate and using unit rates to figure out best value or best buy and then solve problems. A unit rate, we kind of already saw one in our earlier rate, is a rate which compares two quantities, but the second one's always one. So unit rates are used in everyday life all the time. So common examples would be 100 kilometers per hour. So that again means per 1 hour. 11.50 per hour could be your wage, and then again that means per 1 hour. Okay. $1.99 per pound, that means per 1 pound. 40 cents per pencil is per 1 pencil. Okay, so if you see just per and then a word, it's one of those things. Okay. Once you know how much one of something costs, you could use multiplication to find out how much money any number of that product costs. So if you're in a grocery store quickly and you figure out the unit price and you want to know how much it costs to buy 10 of them, you can use the calculator on your phone and just multiply. Okay. Here's an example of that. 10 erasers cost $7.50. Find the cost per eraser. So cost per eraser, per means divide. So cost per eraser, and a lot of you are just going right to your calculator, which is fine. So $7.50 divided by 10 erasers. So, and people are saying, yeah, 0.75, so 75 cents per eraser. So, rates have units. So the cost per eraser is 75 cents per eraser. That means 1 eraser. So if you know it's 75 cents for one of them, then to find 6, you can just do 6 times 75 cents. Okay, because there's 6 of them. They each cost 75 cents, so that's a classic multiplying question from elementary school. 6 of them each cost 75 cents. And you can multiply to get the answer. 4.5, but you're going to make that into money, so 450. So therefore 6 erasers cost 450. You could also have done proportion for this. Okay, so you could have also done, which would give you the same answer. You could have done 75 cents per 1 eraser equals X for 6 erasers. And still, so you can set up a proportion and do your cross multiplying and get the same answer. So some people feel more confident with this way, and some people are like, okay, well, if I know how much 1 costs, I can just multiply to find out how much more than 1 costs. Okay? Both are fine. It's just kind of the way you see it. You feel more confident with. All right. Express each of the following as a unit rate. So unit rate means for one of. Okay. So if 4 concert tickets cost $224, you want to know the price per ticket. So you just divide them. $224 divided by 4 tickets. Money always goes on top. Remember that. It's a good rule of thumb. That gives you $56 per ticket. So when money is one of your 2 things, money always goes on top. That's a good rule to remember. If money isn't one of them, try to just think what makes more common sense to you. A lot of these rate things could be everyday occurrences, things that happen. But if money is involved, make sure you put money on top. So 575, that's got to be centimeters of snow. Sorry about that. Typo. 575 centimeters of snow in 6.5. Oh no, that's still a lot. But we'll see. 575 centimeters of snow in 6.5 hours. Okay? So we would think, yeah, kilometers, we'd be like buried. Okay. So we would want to know how much does it snow per hour. So we're going to do 575 centimeters over 6.5 hours. And then we'll know how many centimeters we get per hour. It's going to be a lot. 88.5. So, yeah, we're definitely snowed in. Helicopters are coming in to get people out of cars. This is a bad snowstorm. Bad snowstorm. Glad it's not kilometers. That'd be really nice. Okay, which carton of milk is the best buy? Okay, so you can see they all have prices with them. But then they also have, it's harder to read them, they have milliliters. 250 milliliters, if you can read that on your page. 500, and what, do you know how many 1 liter is in milliliters? Does anyone know that? Yeah, 1,000, good. So that's 1,000 milliliters, because you always want to compare in the same thing, okay? Another hint for this one is whenever your money is a lot smaller number than the other thing you're comparing, like 0.59 is way smaller than 250, then compare them in cents instead. Change your money to cents so that your numbers are easier to compare. So for my smallest container, so we'll do small, medium, and large. And then we're going to see which one's the best buy. But instead of writing 0.59, I'm going to write 59 cents. Because 59 and 250 are closer together than 0.59 and 250. Okay, so it'll be easier to compare my numbers. So if I divide those, do you need a pencil sharpener? Yeah. Sometimes when you get like decimal 0.000, something, it's harder to compare your decimals. So this way we don't get something quite as small. We get 0.236. That means it's not even 1 cent. So 0.236 cents for a milliliter. So each milliliter costs 0.236 cents for the small carton of milk. For the medium carton of milk, it's $1.09 is 109 cents. And it's 500 milliliters. So we'll see how many cents per milliliter it is. $0.218 cents per milliliter. So far the medium one is a bit cheaper than the small one per milliliter. Okay. And then the large one, so we'll change $1.99 to 199 cents for 1,000 milliliters, which is going to give me 0.199 cents per milliliter. And we want to know the best buy, so we're looking for the smallest cost per milliliter. So 0.199 is the smallest out of the three. Okay? Which means that the largest container is the best buy. So therefore, the 1 liter container is the best buy. Okay, so that's a good trick, is to change dollars into cents if you're very far apart on numbers. Because it's easier to compare it to numbers. Okay, so for each of these we found the unit rate and we were just comparing them to see which one was the cheapest. That's that question. Next question. Carrie is grocery shopping. She's deciding which is the better deal. So she's at a store and there's 8 juice boxes for $3 or 24 for $8, and she wants to know which one is a better deal. So again, we're just going to do the unit rate for each one, money on top. Okay? So for the 8 juice boxes, it costs $3 for 8. I'll do JB for juice boxes and figure out how much it is per juice box. So 0. Okay, so if I get 375, but I just want cents, the 5 rounds the 7 up to 8. 38 cents per juice box. And then for the 24 juice boxes, it's $8 for 24. Which is 0.33, so 33 cents per juice box. Best Buy is the lower one. So the better deal, therefore the better deal is 24 juice boxes for $8. Because it's only 33 cents per juice box instead of 38 cents per juice box. Okay? So again, remember, money goes on the top when you're comparing unit prices or finding the best buy. The next question I just snipped right from EQAO. It's got a little hint on it. So in EQAO, sometimes they'll have what they call a hint box. And I recommend using their hints if they give you a hint box. So which size bag of raisins has the lowest cost per gram? So cost per gram is telling you dollars divided by grams, right in the question. And then your hint is express the cost using cents before you divide, okay? And their little trick is they give you the grams first, even though you guys have to know in your mind that money goes on top, okay? So if you were doing this question, it's multiple choice. I would really be typing, I'd type this in my calculator, 100 cents divided by 100 grams, and that gives me 1 cent per gram, okay? So I wouldn't even write this part down if I knew it. I just type 100 cents divided by 100 grams, but I would write at the side 1 cent per gram, okay, because that's what I'm going to compare. And then I go to the next one. $2 is 200 cents, so I'm going to do 200 divided by 250, and that gives me 0.8 cents per gram. So I'm looking for the lowest cost per gram, so I can already, this one's lower than that one, so this is already crossed off, okay? Because I already found a lower one than that one. So then for this one, I'm going to do 300 cents divided by 500 grams, and that's 0.6 cents per gram. So that's cheaper than this one, so this one, B, gets crossed off, okay? So it's going to be between C and D. So then I'm going to type in 600 cents divided by 750 grams, and it gives me 0.8 cents per gram, which is bigger. So that means C is got the lowest cost per gram. Okay? So all you have to do is figure out the unit rate. Remember, money goes on top. They try to trick you by listing the money second. Okay? But you know when you're got a rate, you put money on the top. And then use their little hints of changing the cents. And then find the smallest number. The smallest number is the best spot. Okay, so that's a common type of multiple choice question. There'll definitely be one like this on the midterm on Friday. Okay, this is an EQAO question as well. I just retyped it. Gina needs 24 apples to bake pies. 2 stores offer the following deals. Store A gives you 12 apples for $4.92. Store B, 5 apples for $200.15. And then it says, if she can buy apples individually at either store, how much money would she save if she goes with the better deal? So this question is similar to the ones we did in our last lesson, where we're going to divide our page up into store A and store B. Store A and store B have different rates, but we want to see how much it costs to get 24 apples at store A, how much it costs to get 24 apples at store B, and then figure out which one's cheaper. Okay? And then it also wants to know how much you would save. So very similar. So we've got dollars over apples. And then we're going to do the same thing for store B, dollars over apples. And the way they set the question up, it's really easy to make the left side of each proportion. So for store A, we know that it's $4.92 for 12 apples. And we want to know how much it costs for 24. So X is going to be on top for money because we want to know how much it costs for 24 apples. And then you just got a proportion to solve. So we got 12x equals 118.08. There's our cross product. Then we do our algebra step by dividing both sides by 12. and we get $9.84. Remember, X is money because it's on the top. So we don't yet know whether it's cheaper at store A or store B. We have to go and do the proportion for store B to figure out how much 24 apples cost at store B. Okay, so for store B, we know it's $2.15 for 5 apples. Probably want to know how much 24 costs. Cross products can help us, so find your X and cross, so 5X equals 24 times 215. Divide by 5. $10.32. Then we have to make a really great therefore statement that answers our question. So how much money would she save if she goes with the better deal? Okay. So I have to subtract 1032, take away 984. Gives me 48 cents. And then you need a nice therefore statement. Therefore, she will save 48 cents if she buys them at store B. No, store A. Buys them at store A. Okay, so this is the smaller amount, so she buys them at store A, she's going to save 48 cents. All right, then. Next question. When this, nope, it's down here. When this one was on EQAO, it stopped some people. I don't know why it does that. We have to use this. Okay. It's a multiple choice question. Last week, Tanisha paid $65.72 for 62 kilograms of potatoes for her restaurant. Today, the price of potatoes is, that says 2 cents per kilogram lower. How much will Tanisha pay for 50 kilograms of potatoes today? So if we look at last week, first of all, we can find the unit rate. We can find the cost per kilogram. Just remember, cost always goes on top. So $65.72 for 62 kilograms means that last week potatoes cost $1.06 per kilogram. So that's what this means, and you have to be able to figure that out to get this question right. Last week, potatoes cost $1.06 per kilogram. If you can figure that out, most people that got that were able to get the rest of the question. Okay? So last week, potatoes cost $1.06 per kilogram. Today, the price of potatoes is 2 cents per kilogram lower. So 2 cents per kilogram lower than $1.06 is $1.04. So this week they cost $1.04 per kilogram. The price went down. It must have been excess potatoes. Okay? So this week it costs $1.04 for 1 kilogram of potatoes, and they want to know how much it will cost for 50. So you can either multiply or you can set up a proportion with dollars and kilograms. And you want to stick to the proportion since that's what we're on. We know that this week it's $1.04 for 1 kilogram. And we want to know how much it costs for 50. Okay, you know it's $1.04 for 1 kilogram. How much does it cost for 50? So we can, once we've got our proportion, we can find the cross products. And 1 times x is x, so it's just a one-step cross product. 50 times 1.04 is 52, which is money, dollars. And we're hoping it's one of the answers. And it is. Okay? So this question all starts with the unit rate. You had to realize that you needed to get last week's unit rate of $1.06 so that you can take 2 cents away from it and get this today's unit rate. Okay? That's what makes that question tricky, because it doesn't tell you to do that. You have to realize yourself that that's what you have to do. All right, our last question in this lesson is also an EQAO question. A grocery store sells Healthy Start cereal in 2 different size boxes as shown below. So it tells you the small box costs $0.0098 dollars per gram. And for the large box, they stated differently. It costs $5.25 for a 480 gram box. So this one gives you the cost per gram. This one tells you the cost for 480 grams. Okay? What is the difference in the cost of 100 grams of cereal in these 2 boxes? So again, we're comparing different rates. So we're probably going to start off by doing small box on one side and make a proportion. And on the other side, we're going to have the large box and make a proportion. And for both of them, we want to know how much it costs for 100 grams of cereal. Okay? They have different rates, but we want to know how much does it cost for 100 grams of that cereal. And we can see we're comparing dollars and grams. I already saw lots of people starting off with dollars over grams, so that's awesome. And then this is a unit rate question because when it says per gram, you have to remember that means per 1 gram. Okay? And just be careful because some of those decimals, if it's a 0 when you're keying it in your calculator, you'll get a different answer. 0.00981 gram costs X for 100 grams. Okay, so we want to know how much 100 grams of this cereal costs. So we've got our proportion, we can do our cross product. So 1 step again, because 1 times X is X. Type that in and you get 0.98. But that's a cost, so it's 98 cents, like that, okay? So that one costs 98 cents for 100 grams. Now we're gonna figure out how much it would cost for 100 grams for the large box, based on the information. It tells me for the large box. Cereal. We got $5.25 for 480 grams equals X for 100 grams. That should be your proportion. You want to know how much it costs for just 100 grams. So that's going to give me 480x equals 525 divided by 480. So I got 1.09375. It has to be money, so I have to round to this place. So the 3 tells me whether to leave it as 1.09 or round it up. So 3 means leave it. Yep. So it's $1.09. So what is the difference in the cost of 100 grams of cereal in these 2 boxes? So my last step is just to subtract. $1.09, take away 98 cents. Is 11 cents. Make sure we answer the question. What is the difference in the cost? Therefore, the difference in cost is 11 cents. So you can do it with the dollars, or you could have written 11 cents like that. Either one would be fine. Okay. So hopefully you feel like today's stuff was all connected. Okay? Didn't matter. This morning we started with word problems, then we went to rate word problems, then we went to unit rate word problems. So we were always making a proportion, solving it, or comparing 2 proportions. But along